Good evening. Good evening. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. And please come in, grab a seat up front. Welcome to Tea with Lady DJ. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. I am sorry, I am just a little bit late getting here, but welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Welcome in. Welcome in. As you're coming in, please, will you get your daily heart rate? That's the little heart that's right above my hair. Would you do that? Get your daily heart rate. Share it out, please. Share it to some others. There is a little arrow at the bottom of your screen, and it goes like that. If you would touch that arrow, and then there's a little circle that says story. It'll get out faster. You don't have to take so much time sharing it out. But if you would do that, just hit that little arrow, and then go to your story and share me out to your story. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Oh my goodness, and already coming in, tapping the screen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. My objective is always to get to at least 20,000 likes, at least 20,000 likes. They say then that gets me out to the FYP, whatever that means, gets me out to the FYP. So welcome in, please come in. And if you were here last night, I thank you for coming back again tonight. Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. And as you're coming in, get your daily heart rate. Tap the screen, please. Heal one. Welcome in. I see you. Welcome in. Thank you for tapping the screen. I hope you can hear me okay. I am soft-spoken, and I don't always make sure that I've got the volume turned up so you can hear it. But welcome in. Welcome in. Last night, I was Mr. Detroit. I see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. You all, they put me on restriction last night, not to ban me, but I was telling one of the ladies that was in the chat about a makeup that I use, and I didn't mention TikTok. And because I didn't mention TikTok, they said I was advertising for some other. Anyway, it was just a warning. And so everyone that was here, then they started to redirect persons coming here because I was a bad girl. Mr. Anderson, welcome in. Welcome in. So I'm going to try not to get any restrictions or violations, because I want everyone to hear what we talked about last night, which was, how does low self-esteem affect relationships? BPU, welcome in. You know, I'm so, always makes my heart happy when I see you guys come in. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the hand heart. Thank you so much. And Hill, one, thank you for the gifts. I don't solicit gifts, but I do appreciate them. I do. And I thank you so very much in advance. But I thank you also for the likes, the tapping of the screen. I do appreciate that. I feel like in completing my assignment that I do have some good information for you. Last night, I said we were going to talk about tonight self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-compassion. But I always tell you all that I read the comments after the fact. I don't necessarily read them while we're doing this because it makes me nervous. And Marvin, welcome in. But there was 2 persons that were here last night, and so we're gonna shift from what we were going to talk about, and I am going to the best of my ability, answer their questions, their statements, and try to give some clarity to it. So as you come, and try not to go over my hour with you all. An hour. That's what I try to do. Just do an hour, because I don't want you to get bored with me. But there was 2 questions. There was a statement and a question. And so we're going to deal with the statement first. And this is, and I said, it's not talking about low self-esteem is not just for women. It is for men as well. And there was a Mr. Lorenzo 123, and he made a statement. And I thought we as women could just sit and listen to me while I address his question, because I do think it is valid. And for us that have male children and adults, how they feel, their self-esteem is equally as important to how it affects their relationships going forward. His statement was, men, we have been subjugated to abuse and trauma. That's what he said. And I think I shared with you all last night that I sat and I listened for 3 days at a conference where the women were not allowed, but we were just to hear the men. And sometimes we need to do that more often than not, because there are things that they are not sharing because of the labels that are being put on them, because they have feelings also, and they have low self-esteem and anxiety, all of the things that we as women experience. So do men. So that's where we're going to go tonight. I will be back on Tuesday to pick up where we would have been tonight, but that's okay. It's all a part of how does low self-esteem affect relationships. Okay? And so he said, men, we have been subjugated to abuse and trauma. And that bothered me last night. And so I stayed up until the wee hours and going back through some things and reading and getting an understanding. And if I am not saying it quite right, or just please, in the chat, leave me a comment. I will look at it tonight and I will try to get clarity better. Okay? So, it says, as I stated last night, I was shocked at some of the things that men have gone through back to their childhood, and they have not been able to talk about it. So I delved a little further with regards to his statement, Mr. Lorenzo's statement. And there were 3 things that I mentioned last night about academic or professional struggles. You remember that? Repeated failures, harsh criticism from teachers or bosses, or being in environments where you feel incompetent can chip away at your confidence. Mental health conditions, depression, anxiety, and conditions often go hand in hand with low self-esteem in a reinforcing cycle. It can be hard to separate cause from effect. Physical health or appearance concerns, chronic illness, disability, or feeling like you don't meet conventional beauty standards can impact how you feel about yourself. These are things that we both go through, men and women go through. Welcome in, Galatia. Welcome in. Welcome in. We talked about last night perfectionism, setting impossibly high standards for yourself guarantees you will feel like you are constantly falling short. You will feel this. So, how do those things that I talked about last night equate to men? And I spent into the wee hours, and I again am shocked. So let's talk about it. Professional struggles. And we're just talking about men. So this is not so do we. This is not a night for so do we. The men, this is a safe place for them to ask questions, and I'm going to give them the attention that they deserve. So it's not about ladies putting in the chat. That's what we do. We know. But let's talk about men tonight. Professional struggles. A significant source of stress is pressure from work, job stresses, and career identity and stability. We as women here that, we're the most educated and we're getting the bag and we're doing this and we're doing that. But the men are not being afforded the same. They're not being afforded the same. And it's a constant system trying to divide us that women, we're here, and men are trying to get there. And if they are not already there, then we have no time for them. That's a struggle. That is a struggle. Financial strain. Maintaining financial security is a major pressure, with many men defining manhood as being a provider, leading to devastation consequences if they cannot be met. If they cannot be met, how soon we've forgotten that even back, and I'm a baby boomer, even back, there were times, and back beyond me, that men they couldn't live with the woman, wife, or whatever. They couldn't get jobs, but the woman loved them, still chose them to be the head. But nowadays, we make it, if this man is not making 6 figures, he doesn't have a 6-pack and he's not 6 feet tall, I don't have time for him. And when I was looking at the statistics of black men that are in six figures, it's between 8 and 15% of black men that are at that level. Are you, ladies, are you at that level? Are you six figures? Are you? And sometimes we put unrealistic expectations on men that we're just in a dating relationship, but we're wanting someone, and this is being honest and factual. Those persons that are saying all of this, that this is what they want, you're wanting someone to fill the void for you. You're wanting someone to pick up bills, pay for your hair, help you with your rent, and they don't live there. Help. We have unrealistic expectations, and we're just dating this man. And when he doesn't, then you want to say, I don't want to date a broke, and you know what you all say. And this is not all women, but this is pressure on a man. Relationships and family struggles. Men often struggle with relationship problems with a romantic partner, family, or friends. They do. Because sometimes they're taking care. Oh, thank you so much. Sometimes this person that you have decided, and most of the time it is ladies that have decided that this is the man that I want, and he needs to take care of children that's not his, and he wants to be with you, but you make it hard for him to be with you because he's having to come in and take care of things that he didn't create. And we don't want to talk about that. Hey, so how are you? We don't want to talk about that, but we want to put these pressures on a man that is just wanting your company. He's not asked you to be his wife. He has not asked you to be exclusive to him, but he has to be able to take you out to a 5-star restaurant, something that you can't afford. It's a constant pressure on them. And then they decide, it's okay for me to be by myself. It's okay. This is just unreal. And I can have my peace with my nickel $98 an hour. It pays for my car. It pays for the food on my table. It keeps a roof over my head. I don't have to worry about keeping a roof over my head and your head and your children's head. These are unrealistic expectations. Fatherhood and parenting, the pressures and responsibilities associated with being a father are another significant challenge. I've listened to them talk, and the child support that they have to pay if child support is deemed, and then they don't have access to their children. Yes, I know it happens on both sides, but we're just talking about men now. We're just talking about why they are subjugated to abuse and trauma. Societal and personal pressures. Self-reliance. There is often an expectation for men to be self-reliant. Hey Lex, how are you? To be self-reliant, handle their own problems without asking for help. Handle their own problems without asking for help. But us as women, we feel like we should, if we're dating them and we have a need and our name is not his last name, nevertheless, we should be able to say, I'm short on my electric bill. I'm short on my car payment. You mean to tell me you can't? I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. And this is what I found. More men talking. Pride. Some sources identify pride as a root cause of other issues such as in relationship problems, anger and perfectionism. Anger and perfectionism. Pride. And we know what the Bible says about pride. What comes before the fall, right? Lack of confidence. A lack of confidence is also cited as a common struggle for men. Did you all know this, ladies? I mean, I sat up and I kept reading and I kept reading. Do you all know this? And sometimes I think you don't know this because there is some selfishness going on. It's about me, me, me. How about us? How about us? There are those things. Now let's talk about for men tonight, for men. Mental and emotional challenges. Marvin. Mental and emotional challenges. Expressing emotions. Men have difficulty verbalizing, sometimes only expressing anger. Societal pressures and stigmas can lead them to hide their feelings, like sadness and anxiety. So we wonder why they meet him in the air so much earlier than us, because they can't share it. If he cries, if he's emotional, he has a heart. He feels. He hurts. We say to him, if he's trying to express himself, and I have strolled these streets and heard them, if he's trying to express himself and it's not to your liking, he didn't say it the way you wanted him to say it, then it's wrong. No, you're wrong because you are not listening, intentionally listening. You're listening to refute. So he didn't say it the way you wanted it to be said. Then it was said wrong. No, it's not said wrong. He is and should be allowed to express himself. If there is something that you don't understand, when he has finished, use your I statements instead of your you statements. When you use your you statements, you are accusing. But if you say, am I to understand, yada, 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 then he can say, thank you, Marvin, thank you. Then he can say, no, that was not what I meant, because he didn't say it the way you wanted to hear it. And that's a shame. When a woman goes off the deep end, She says, I'm just emotional. I'm just expressing myself. And so you can stand, you can get into his personal space, you can posture, and that is supposed to be okay. He, on the other hand, has to constrain himself because you have crossed the boundaries. He is feeling that an altercation could ensue because you are posturing, you have gotten loud. And if this is not you sitting in the chat, I'm just talking about what men feel, what they feel, and what they are not allowed to do and express the way that they feel it. Loneliness and isolation. Many men report feeling like no one truly knows them, and this social isolation can negatively impact their mental health. That's dangerous. Loneliness and isolation. Many men report feeling like no one truly knows them. There was a gentleman, and he is 57 years old, and he called, and he was crying uncontrollably. He was crying uncontrollably. And I asked, what was the problem? What's going on? He said, I can't tell you. I said, yes, you can. He said, I just feel like, and he took a deep breath, and the cry that was coming out of him caused me to cry because, yeah, that's how I am. And he talked to me for hours. And then the next night, he said, I'm feeling strange. And I said, do you need to go to the hospital? Is it, you're hurting in your chest? Could it be a heart attack? Could it be a stroke? Whatever, get to the hospital. They talked with him at the hospital. They evaluated him at the hospital. And he was so stressed that they put him in. They admitted him so that they could just get him down off the ceiling. And the things that he shared with me, you guys, you have no idea what a man is holding, because we're always about it's us, it's us, it's us. But that man is going through. And that's the reason why I started off with this, that this is not about ladies only with low self-esteem. It's about us, men and women, who have low self-esteem, and it's affecting relationships. It is. Mental health stigma. Men are less likely. This was really important. It says that men are less likely to seek treatment for mental health issues and are at a higher risk for unaliving themselves, depression, and substance abuse. This is what this 57-year-old woman, 57-year-old man was sharing with me. He felt comfortable enough to share that with me. He felt comfortable enough to cry, and I am not going to call him that he's a simp or he is zesty. None of those. We are so quick to label people. People are hurting. Men are hurting. But we're so about us that we can't see the other. We can't see the other. So How do we recognize that? Are there signs? Are there signs that a person, a male, a man, is being emotionally abused? Are there signs? Yes, there are signs. So let's go through just a few of them, and then I'm going to go on to the next question. Some of the signs that there are men that are going through, and I'm just going to leave it right there, that they're going through emotional abuse, verbally humiliate you. They verbally humiliate you before you do it to them because you've done it on a regular. They demand all of your attention. These are signs that there have been emotional abuse. Control your time or who you see. So they want you all to themselves. They blame you for everything that goes wrong. Threaten to harm you, your children, or family, or your pet. This is built up because what? They are less likely to seek treatment for mental health issues. They have held back so much because back in our day, as a baby boomer, there were certain things that they said, what happens in this house stays in this house. We don't talk about it. When I sat in that conference, and I heard grown men talk about being SA'd as a child, as in formative years, like elementary school. And when they tried to tell, they said, no, it didn't happen. They told them, no, it didn't happen. And don't say anything else about it. So we're just going to sweep it under the rug. We're going to sweep it under the rug. We're never going to allow. When they talked about how they lost their virginity to an older woman. My God. When we talk about it was their teachers. But we couldn't talk about it. That didn't really happen. Are you just making it up? If every time I come to you to tell you something that is hurting me and you think I'm lying, why would I want to tell you? Why would I, as women, they say, well, they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be transparent. Why would I want to tell you if I confided in you and when you got pissed with me, you would throw it back up in my face? So why would I want to share that with you? So these are things that we need to stop for a moment. If there are persons that are sitting on the outside, that little thing that came up said that there are people peeping in. Don't peek in. Come on in. Come on in. Pull up a piece of carpet and sit down. Bring your tea. This is a safe place, and we're going to talk about things that are really impacting us. And we want so desperately to be in relationships, whether they're dating or with family members, but we're hurting because of low self-esteem, things that have happened. So now the other question that was left. So you all, if you have questions at all, I don't really read the chat because it makes me nervous, but I go back through the comments and I will do my level best at giving you clarity on whatever your question is. And if I don't know, you can trust that I am going to search it out. And there was Marvin, Pastor Barnum. I can go to him and ask him to clarify it for me. I have such good men that will avail themselves to me so that I can bring back to you that might help. So the next question was, did you have any questions with men being subjugated? Any questions about that which I've gone over? Phenomenal women, welcome in, that I've already gone over before I go to the next thing, because I'm trying to stay not more than an hour with you all. The next question was from yesterday: how do you develop a healthy self-esteem? How do you develop a healthy self-esteem? And this was such a great question. And so that's the reason why we took an off-ramp, and we're going to sit here for a little while. So how do you develop a healthy self-esteem? Let's go through it. Knowing about self-esteem is one thing, but actually building it is where the real work begins. Let's start with awareness. Notice your inner dialogue for a few days. Just pay attention to how you talk to you. Pay attention to how you talk to you. We're almost at 10. So can we get to tapping the screen, please? I appreciate it. I appreciate you all tapping the screen. We can do a power tap, and I'm going to stop right there while you all do a power tap, and give you all a chance to get some of your tea before we go on further, because we've got a lot of ground. On tomorrow, if you're coming in the middle of this, it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Can you believe that? 71. I have a YouTube channel. You young folk will not leave me behind. So this tonight, last night is already up, and my YouTube channel is, if someone could type it in the chat, it is you, me, and T-E-A, with Lady D. You, me, and T, with Lady D. That's my YouTube channel. So if you ever come in the middle of when I'm talking, the next day it will be uploaded. This live will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. We're almost there. Come on, let's get the fingers tapping, please. I appreciate you in advance. So, have you ever noticed how you talk to you? And I asked that question because it was the question that was posed to me. How do I talk to me after my divorce? just so many things just went over me. When I looked at her, that he married 14, not even, was exactly 1 month to the day after our divorce. And I looked at her and I thought to myself, and these are my thoughts, I only talk about me, but I said to myself, you are just but ugly. Those were my words to me. Those harsh words I said to me when I looked at her. And he traded me in. And that's what I said. I was traded in for a younger model and a different color model. And when I came to myself, I thought, my goodness, she looks like a fullback off of the Dallas Cowboys. Not my team. She looks like a fullback off of the Dallas Cowboys team. And then I had to think about that. And then when I gathered myself on that, if someone said, I like your gray hair, your skin, I didn't know how to receive compliments. Galathea, do you remember when David did that to me? He made me say thank you. I didn't know how to say thank you. And I didn't like going past the mirror because I told myself that they didn't really mean it. They were just making fun of me. They did not really mean it. And I would cry. I have a whole moment of just tears. And my coach now, David, he made me say thank you in front of the whole class. And I thought, I'm going to stutter because that's and I do so much better now. But I had to pay attention to how I talked to me. I had to pay attention to the tone that I used with me. Then I had to answer, would I allow someone to speak to my friend, Galathea here? Would I allow someone to speak to my friend the way I talk to me? Can you answer that question? Would you ever allow someone to talk to your friend the way you talk to you? Most people with self-esteem issues have a harsh inner critic that they've grown so used to, they don't even notice it anymore. Awareness is the first step to change. Your awareness. We're taking steps towards a healthy self-esteem. Identify the origins. Identify the origins. Understanding where your low self-esteem came from. Identifying where your low self-esteem came from. Was it a childhood message? Was it past relationships? Trauma? You now have to be honest and forthcoming with you. My book that I am doing right now, Want to Reminisce, and it will be out by the end of this year. Want to Reminisce. Generational curses stop with you. Generational curses stop with you. That is my closure. It has been the hardest thing for me to write because I go back, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and then me. And I'm going under that piece of carpet that I've shoved things under, have been unable to talk about. And when I finish, that will be closure for me. There is a book in each and every one of you that's sitting here listening to me. It could be your closure. It is my closure. Understanding where your low self-esteem came from does not fix it automatically. It doesn't. But it helps you recognize, oh, is this an old story I'm telling myself rather than the current truth? You know, I keep hashing that over and over again. I keep saying, no one loved me. Why did they talk to me that way? And finding grace and mercy that God extended to all of us. Can we extend that same grace and mercy? You all. The next one, the next step is challenge distorted thinking. Challenge distorted thinking. And while you're doing this, write it down. Get you a journal and go through it. Work through it. You might need to go back and look at it another day, but write it down so you can see it. Challenge distorted thinking. When you catch yourself thinking, I am worthless. That's what I thought. I'm the first in the family to be divorced. Did I not learn what my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother taught me to be a lady? Absolutely. I learned all of it. And I did it to the best of my ability. I did. But I thought there must be something wrong with me. I'm worthless because I was left for someone else. What else could I have done? When I talked to my therapist, she said, what would you have rather? And do you guys know, this is how I'm not the old Donna anymore. And I'm not going to get tearful and share this with you. But I said to my therapist, because I did not want to be the first to be divorced in my family. Okay? And so I said, I would accept his adultery as long as he did not bring it to the house. As long as he did not bring it to the house. Now that is esteem so low that the Gophers had to bring your mail. And she just sat there and looked at me. And she asked me to repeat it. And she said, you would be good with that. I said, I would be good with that. I don't, 2 years before I told my parents that I was separated. 2 years. That was so very hard to say. I'm sorry, my do not disturb, if you hear it, please forgive me. It's gone off. My do not disturb is gone off. But for 2 years, I could not say I'm separated. Oh my God, how I prayed. Because this had to be what the vows were talking about when it said for better or for worse. This had to be the worst of the worst. But it said I could forgive, right? We all have the right to forgive. But it was not until God shook me. And it's a test that he gave me that I give, is to put on paper, on one side of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, put God's name. And on the other side, put that person's name, right? And put down all of the reasons why you fell in love with God. Because God doesn't force himself on you. You made a conscious decision. Now, on the other side, why did you fall in love with that person? And when God had me to do that, he had me to do that, he said to me, have I ever treated you like that? That's how Leroy talked to me. He says, have I ever treated you like that? You have to take a deep breath and you say, no. Haven't I always been there for you? Yes, sir. Have I not always covered you? Yes, sir. You have. So, it is. I'm sorry, I've gotten away from. So, capture those thoughts. Snatch them down out of the air. You are not worthless. And you're not always messing up. Pause and ask, is this actually true? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Then ask yourself, what evidence do you have that contradicts what you're feeling? What evidence do you have? What evidence do I have that contradicts what I just said? Mm-hmm. And you have to be honest with yourself. It's often our hardest self-judgment does not hold up to the scrutiny that we have of ourselves. It doesn't hold up. So the next step is to reframe realistically. You do not have to jump from I'm terrible to I'm amazing. You don't have to jump. Try to, for balance, accurate assessment. I made a mistake and I can learn from it, rather than I'm a complete failure. I made a mistake, so how do I learn from it? It's 10:36. So that's where we're going to pause right there. And on Tuesday, I'm going to continue. On Tuesday, I'm going to continue with the path for developing a healthy self-esteem. On Tuesday, can we let's get 10,000 right there. Let's do a power tap, get 10,000, and then we're going to close out. Can we do that? Can you do a power tap? Let's get to 10,000, and then we're going to close out. But on Tuesday, we're going to talk about take action. This is crucial. Live according to your values. Remember yesterday I said we have low self-esteem because we haven't been mentored to, taught any of those things. We've not had that. So we don't know that we need boundaries. We don't know our self-worth. We don't know any of that. And I shared with you yesterday when I said I love me. And when God said everything that He created, which included me, in my melanated skin and my white hair, when He finished, He said, it is good. So I don't give a fat baby's backside what someone else thinks of me. Because my Father said, I'm good and I'm kind and I'm intelligent and I don't need someone to validate me. I need to validate me. I need to know my worth. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about keeping commitments to yourself. This is a step into healthy self-esteem. We're going to talk about do hard things. Do hard things. Practice self-care. Self-care. This is all about you. Practice self-care. Build confidence. Develop skills. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the small wins. Do you know what a small win was for me? When David Burris said to me, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I cannot do this. You don't understand. I stutter. He said, I want you to go live on Facebook. 20 minutes. I'm challenging you. And that was in 2022. I celebrated that small win when I did it for a year. And I was like, oh my goodness, I did it. And I brought back all of those things that my speech therapist reminded me and told me. Get your thoughts together first before you speak. Slow down. Celebrate small wins. We're going to talk about shift your relationships. Shift your relationships. Set boundaries. Spend time with people who are with you accurately. Contribute to others. Practice self-compassion. Practice self-compassion. This is what we're going to go over Tuesday. We're so busy trying to be in relationships with people. We're so busy wanting to date. We're so busy wanting to be married and all of these other things. But you're broken. And you're wanting someone to fix the broken pieces in you. And they don't know them. They don't know you. You don't know you. So these are the things. These are the things. Sometimes we just have to sit still. And I say that so often. Sit still. I sat still. Do you know I've just been dating the last 5 years. Do you realize that? And I am so enjoying myself because I sat still. I put in the work. I got to know me. I got to know me. Thank you for the 10,000. Thank you so much. I got to know me, and that was so important. And when you know you, then you can demand respect. You can say no. That's a complete sentence. You can just do so much. You can when you put in the time for you, when you get to know you first before you decide it's time to get out here and date. If there are any questions, please put them in the chat. If there's anything that you were not clear on that I might have gone over, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Erica, I see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. You're coming in as we're about to leave, but I will be back on Tuesday, 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern as we continue on this. How does low self-esteem affect relationships? And it does. If you have any questions at all, please just put them in the chat. Or if you want to come up, please, you're welcome to come up and ask your question. If not, I'm going to say goodnight to you. Until the next time, Yahweh, Yahweh, welcome in. Welcome in. I see you. So, no questions? I'm not going to answer that. It's too easy to play with. Would you like to date me? I'm 49. It's too easy to play with. Are there any other questions that are related to the subject matter? If not, until Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern. Did you ask a question, Galatia? Come up. Come on. I sent you an invite. Did you accept it? Galatia, will you join me? Did you accept the invite? Okay. Then what is your question? Are you going to just, did you accept it? You all, this is my adopted daughter, Galatia. How are you, sweetie?
I'm great. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I'm driving. So my question was in relation to the topic. Since you were stating that you are the new Donna, you are no longer the previous Donna. My question was, how long did it take you to no longer believe the lie?
Oh my God. It, I have just, and it, first of all, Galathea, I had to go through, it said for every 5 years that you were married, it took